Sean, good morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
Thanks for holding. Okay, you want to go back in time. I like a bit of nostalgia. What have you got for me?
Well, it was the day after the new regulations were announced last week. I was in town and I was on North Main Street. You know, there's St. Peter's Centre there, the kind of exhibition.
Certainly do, yeah. It's the Burning of Cork exhibition. Everybody should go and see it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It is.
Like, I went in, I read everything there, and it was really great. And the pictures they've done, they've, you know, colorised all the photographs.
There's another brilliant exhibition either open or about to open. George Patterson and his team have put it together in the Middle Parish. And it also deals with the burning of Cork. Fantastic photographic exhibition of Cork over the last 150 years. Some of them aerial photographs. Incredible. Also a lot of the history of Tomás McCurtain and McSweeney. It's well worth going to see that one. But I digress. Go ahead.
And is that opening soon, that one?
Well, I think I'll have to check. I mean, I was in there myself at the weekend because I was keen to have a look at it. And I was actually in that area and George brought me in. Can I find out between now and midday if it's open to the public for you? Would you mind? Thank you. Okay, so I'll come back to you on that one, Sean. But anyway, go back to your own story.
Yeah, like one piece took my attention because it was in because of what was in the news. It said 100 years ago the curfew that was put on Cork, there was no more than 6 people allowed at a meeting, and like it's kind of striking. Like it's the same number now, and they said back then every restaurant, hotel, and house had to have a list of the occupants posted on their door.
Amazing.
And we were kind of speaking of that today again.
That would have been back in 1920 when the Tans were in town, of course. And there was martial law, to be quite honest, wasn't there?
Martial law. I think there was a few counties. Was it Cork, Kerry, and I'm not sure the other one.
So the irony of that is not lost on you 100 years later, back to 6 people take your names.
It puts in your mind, like you said at the start of your show, that, with the way the news cycle moves, like, when is Golfgate going to be replaced with another kind of news item, It's not going to be remembered in 100 years anyway. Well,
I was making the suggestion that sometimes it's best to hunker down, say nothing, and let the storm blow over.
For the people involved?
Yes, for the people involved. That the public's attention span is short enough and will move on to the next scandal or the next crisis or the next tragedy or the next news event.
They might be working on the next scandal, so to take attention away, maybe.
Yeah, but that's why if you ever listen to politicians, the same thing happened yesterday with Michael McGrath. They always try and deflect the narrative away from the story that you wish to address with them. They're very smart like that. They'll Michael McGrath on a few occasions yesterday tried to turn the conversation to schools all the time and getting the schools back, and you have to keep dragging them back to topics that you want to cover. Yeah,
he was staying very distant from some of your topics, all right, some of your questions.
But they all do that. It's like as if they're taught it in some sort of media course. They do deflect from the question, change the topic, move it away.
There must be a training camp somewhere for that.
Certainly, I think. Well, there is actually, as it happens. But anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Great article.
What
about Mick Clifford? He had a great article in the Examiner saying how was the Phil Hogan's caution? How was that reported? Like a caution shouldn't really be entered in an official database.
I think that's a great question, because I was trying to trace it back. Went from the guard maybe to the sergeant in charge to the super, from the super to the commissioner, from the commissioner to the justice minister, from the justice minister to the Taoiseach.
And Mick Clifford put the question in the article. He said, was he actually done for penalty points and a fine and was put on the system?
No.
And then someone higher up removed it. Just a question.
It's an interesting question. I mean, but my understanding was he got a caution and was told, go on your merry way, don't do it again.
Well, that's the official story anyway, but what's the truth?
There may be a change or an update to that as well.
Yeah, and could I just say, last thing, Golfgate, everyone's talking about it now, but, we have to commemorate the volunteers that died 100 years ago. Every week in Cork, there's meant to be commemorated.
Yeah.
Or Centenaries. It's a very important year and it can't be forgotten about.
And to some extent, it has been put on the back burner because of the current situation we're in. Yeah, for sure. Like you didn't go to Bale na Blah, did you? I think some people did go to Bale na Blah. You didn't go down?
I didn't, but another historical kind of comparison, like the Lee of Varadkar is down in Cork now, and it seems like he's kind of taking pot shots at Micheál Martin. I mean, he has been making comments like he has no confidence in him. And I think his visit to Cork is a bit of a PR exercise.
So those photographs that I saw yesterday of Leo in an off-licence with what looked like 6 cans of Heineken or something, they're real, are they? Up around the College Road? He wasn't going to a house party, no?
Oh, they are real. But like, I imagine he's staying in the 5-star hotel there around the corner.
He's bringing the 6-pack back to Hayfield Manor, is it?
Oh, guaranteed. Probably drinking from a champagne flute.
I love it.
But I mean, it's perfect PR. Like, this man has been spending €100,000 every month on PR since he became Taoiseach. So, I mean, like, the image of him carrying a 6-pack of cans, it's like a perfect juxtaposition.
Getting down with the dudes, like,
yeah. I mean, compare that to Golfgate. And it's kind of morose in a way. Like, it's.
You think it was? You're implying that it was intentional. While all of those were up there having beef or salmon at round tables in Clifton, he's getting a 6-pack from a Cork off licence.
I mean, definitely. I mean, this guy has the best PR spinners around him. Like,
I like it. Thanks, Sean.